Hey guys, Friction RC here. Thought I'd do a quick vid again. So say what's up, what's going on. So I'll start with this, my Low C 5T. I've managed to find a stand. So I play music, not anymore. I used to a lot as a kid growing up. Had a flat. My folks got me a keyboard. I've used like once in a blue moon. But anyway, long and short of it is, I've seen people use this sort of thing to mount to work on their 5T, and this for me works perfectly. So I have something that I can now use when I'm working on this. Now I took it down to the West London Bashers meetup last Sunday, and it was fantastic. We got rained out. It was windy as anything, but it was a brilliant thing. Good group of lads. They had quite a fair bit of cars, and I think the ones they brought were only a few. I think a lot of them have got quite a few of them. There's about 4 or 5 people down there. Shout out to them. Really friendly group of guys. Really know their stuff about this sort of thing. So at last I've got people who I can meet up with to run my RC stuff, especially the bigger things, but they run smaller vehicles as well. But they help me. One thing is to get this restarted again, because I have a problem where I don't think I'm doing it properly to start it. And they showed me what to do and got it started for me, so I've managed to start it since at least once. One of the things, and I told them, yeah, please feel free to let me know what you think of it and all that. So they gave me some hints and tips and advice. The first thing I'm going to do is, so I just had to pause it for a sec to get this controller. So the first thing I'm going to do is set up this FlySky controller. There we go. The reason I want to set this up is obviously this thing needs a kill switch, which is why I've got one on order. And also at the same time, the place I'm ordering it from, which is RC Models. I know I'll put the link on the bottom of the video. I'm getting an exhaust as well. And with that West London Basher group, when I input their sort of thing, I get a code to use with it as well. So I save a couple of quid as well. It's all good. So yeah, I'm going to have to set up my FlySky controller, which I haven't done yet. I haven't even used it before or anything, but I thought might as well use it on this, set up the kill switch. Problem I've encountered though is when I went to do it, it wasn't turning on. And I was like, what the hell's going on here then? Because normally it turns on, it does the whole, servo check and all that. I think the battery that sits in, if I wander around, in here is dead. Now, problem is, I don't have the right connection for that battery to charge it. Let me pause this again. Right, here we go. So this is the battery that is inside it. And what I guess the guy has done is, if I just do this, you can probably see it. It's got one of these kind of connections to it. Goes into there. These two obviously you can remove. It's got that thing in the middle. Now that's not a problem in itself for me. Problem for me arises is the fact that I don't own any sort of not welding tools. What do you call those things that you use to melt wire and when you soldering? I don't own soldering iron or anything like that. I don't know how to solder. So for me, when it comes to connections and connectivity, I prefer to have things that are already done. My bit of know-how comes to like stripping wire and putting some black tape like this insulation tape around it. So that's the first thing. The next thing is, these kind of things are decent, but I own this sort of charger. For me, for the lipos that I run, which are these kind of Florin type stuff, it's perfect. Because I've got one of these, I keep calling them white thingies. Apologies. Apparently they're like a balance charging thingamabob. So ideally what I was trying to do now is I have to find one of these sorts of cables that has one of these on the end of it, so I can charge this up. The thing is, I don't know whether I need to plug it so it has one of these on one end and one of these on the other to do it on this, or whether, because there's another hole in here, whether I just need one that goes from here to this bit so it goes in here. So I really don't know. So I'm gonna put a thing on Facebook and ask on one of the groups I'm in, just to get some advice. So I'm now wishing that I hadn't actually decided to mess about with putting the new controller, because had I not done all that, none of this would have happened. But in a way it's good, because it means that at least I know I have to charge this up. I mean, I haven't run it much. This is coming straight from the guy I bought it off back in December, mid-December, end of December. So anyway, so that's that. I've got the stand for this. Let me pause this for a few seconds whilst I go to the next bit of what I want to talk about. So, my folks are having a clear out their place, and this obviously means that there are going to be lots of stuff they're chucking out, but also lots of stuff that they're going to give back to me that I thought had been a long time ago. One of which is this Intercity 125 train set. I don't know if you can see, I'm not going to really open this up, but if I can move some of this stuff out of the way. There you go. So this is a train set I had when I was a kid in the early 80s. For those of you who aren't British, Hornby is like the original one for us when it comes to train sets. And I haven't tried it yet, because obviously with all my RC stuff going on, I now get this, and I'm like, well, I really want to play with it. But I think I'll leave it as it is. And as far as I remember, this works perfectly. I never had problems with it. I do remember a little clay set it came with. You could build like a little house and things like that, like moulding set. So we'll see about that. The next thing I have is this stuff. Yes, this is my Star Wars toys. This was bought first time round by my parents in the 80s when the first, well, late 70s, early 80s, when the first set of films came out. So I guess now we have all of them. This will be films number 6, 7 and 8. And as you can see, I still have, we've got Mr. Vader, although he's thing. We've got Mr. Cool Dude, Mr. Skywalker, R2-D2, I can't remember who that is. That is someone as well. And the Stormtrooper, which I have coloured in, as you can see. And this was me doing this in 1980, whatever, whenever the film came out. So even back then, I was ahead of the times, and I was colouring the Stormtroopers in black with felt tip, which I might have ruined a bit, but I'm not bothered. This is a Lego helmet from one of my Lego sets. Yeah, C-3PO, there you go. So these are all original toys that I own, that my parents bought for me from back in the 1980s when the first set of films first came out. As you can see, they're well used. But I've still got the box there, and I've got all other sorts of goodies as well. So, for those of you who remember, the Hamburglar. This is one of the characters from McDonald's. You've got Ronald McDonald in there. You've got, you know, the cheeseburger, the Hamburglar. And these were the toys. As we know, all these companies get advertising and sell their products via kids by selling toys. Pester Power works. So I've got all those. But also my dad, when he used to buy me toy cars, he used to get some for himself. So you've got Matchbox. Here we go. Here we go. A Honda. I have no idea what that is, but it's a Honda. There we go. We've got a Land Rover. For those of us old enough, remember when these Range Rovers used to be police cars, not the new modern flashy ones that you got now. So what he used to do is he used to buy some cars. When he used to buy me one, he used to buy one for himself, knowing that I'll probably break it, smash it up, because that's what we did as kids. So these are all original 70s and early 80s stuff, which hasn't been touched. So obviously you've got all that, and there's loads more in here as well. I've spotted the Citroen DS down there and all sorts. And from there we get onto my Meccano set. So this is pretty much what started off for me getting into building things, Meccano and Lego. So yeah, a bit of a blast for the past for me. I'm so happy to see all this stuff still. I thought I had a clue they'd still be around, but I didn't expect it to be this much. And there's still more they're digging out. God knows what they're going to, probably my old report cards they're going to find now. You know, must do better, all that kind of rubbish. So that's that. What else have I got? Oh, let's go to the workshop, as it were.